Normally I wait to the end of the video to ask you guys a quick question, but I thought I'd start the video off today by asking who is the biggest star in the massive lineup of empowering ladies in the cast of Ocean's 8? Me, I think it's gotta be Rihanna, okay? She is a pop star, superstar, she's a big influencer. I say she probably is the biggest A-list talent, probably the most recognizable name. But my boyfriend is an Aussie, so he's obviously on Team Blanchett, two-time Oscar winner and all that. And yeah, there's some other very powerful leading ladies in this as well. But yeah, I kind of do want to know, who do people think is the biggest star in this? Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and let's get started with a review of Ocean's 8. Let's do this. Yo, hello YouTubers! So today's film I'm going to be talking about is Ocean's 8, the latest film that Hollywood felt the need to make into a empowering vehicle for females everywhere by having an all-female cast. And yeah, it's not necessarily a reboot, this film, it's actually a sequel to the Steven Soderbergh films. As it turns out, George Clooney's Danny Ocean from the movies Oceans 11, 12 and 13 had a sister, and she's played by Sandra Bullock, and she's called Debbie. Daddy and Debbie, yeah. Alliteration, guess runs in the family. Maybe it's like the Kardashians and they all have the same letter, you know. Hi, Debbie, Danny, Donnie. I can't think of any more D's. Danny, Diddly, Danny, Doodly. And I guess crime runs in this family because, like her brother Danny, this film pretty much starts off beat for beat, the same way that the original Ocean's 11 did, you know, with George Clooney's character getting released from prison, and it does the exact same thing with Debbie, who's Sandra Bullock's character. She gets released from prison, she assembles a team of like thieves, con artists, hackers, designers for a big, you know, haul that she's planning to score, you know, at the Met Gala. And yeah, she assembles a team, they come up with a plan, they execute that plan, and yeah, it's pretty much exactly the same formula of the other Oceans movies that we've seen before, except this time it's all female, which I guess is the big selling point of this. Does it do much to build upon, you know, the franchise? Not really, it's just more of a way of like saying, yay! Anything that guys can do, girls can do better, and just look way prettier doing it. The only major real difference in this film compared to the male Oceans movies is that they're stealing jewels in this one, not cash. But yeah, don't be fooled. This is pretty much, you know, B for B, a copy and paste of the first Ocean's 11 with, you know, George Clooney and Brad Pitt and Matt Damon and all that lot. So yeah, don't be surprised if you get that sort of familiar feeling of deja vu watching this. This film is directed by Gary Ross, who directed the first of the Hunger Games movies, and he has delivered an entertaining, well-paced, fun heist film. But the thing is, I didn't come out of this film feeling wowed, okay? I came out of it thinking, oh, that was better than I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, I still feel like, yeah, I've seen this before. Ocean's 8 is one of those movies that feels very well executed and you do enjoy watching, but you don't really get anything that's new or groundbreaking. But if your objective is to just make a film that is fun and easy to watch and, you know, just a good ride, you know, that doesn't really require a lot of thought, it's just there for entertainment purposes, and it does it well, and you're satisfied with it, then it is praiseworthy. I will say Ocean's 8 was actually a pretty good movie. But is it great? No. Alright, so let's talk about what's good about it, and let's start off with the casting, because it's a plethora of A-list names. And yeah, the ones that stand out in the cast, I would say, are Sandra Bullock, Helena Bonham Carter, Anne Hathaway was a delight, and even Sarah Paulson, she got a good deal to sink her teeth into. I think she did a really good job. Then there's the other ladies. This is where it gets a little bit sad, is that they weren't as well explored, or I didn't think they had as much to do. And sadly, the actresses of color, which is really annoying. So there's Rihanna, there's Mindy Kailing, and Awkwafina, and yeah, whilst they do get their share of screen time, it's noticeably not as much as some of the other ladies who, you know, are all white women. So yeah, it kind of feels a little bit awkward that, yes, the diverse members of the cast aren't given the same sort of love or character exploration as some of the others. But having said that, Cate Blanchett is in this film as well, and she also feels like another person that's just kind of there. She doesn't really shine in this film. She's got some sparky chemistry with Sandra Bullock, that's nice, but yeah, does she bring anything, you know, substantial to the film? Not really. And then weirdly, in the third act, the film brings in this PI called John Fraser, who's played by James Corden, of all people, and he gets a fair share of the screen time in the third act, and it's just baffling, the choice of James Corden to me. Like, I felt it was a little bit forced, and I feel like in a few years' time, this will sort of age the movie horribly, because I feel like James Corden was one of those people who's like popular right now in like 2017, 2018. He's all the rage, carpool karaoke, the Late Late Show, etc. And Corden brings that sort of Late Late Show, you know, sense of humor to the role. It kind of feels like he's just playing himself. He's pointing out, you know, the absurdity or the really obvious things in the scenario of the investigation. And yeah, he just does it in that sort of James Corden way, which is, you know, very self-realized silly, like just, it's very James Corden. It's Corden-y. I was going for the word corny, but it came out as Corden-y, and yeah. Anyways, I feel like it's funny now to audiences, but I feel like in a few years' time, you know, when Corden, you know, isn't as relevant, it will age the movie because it's sort of subjective to the audience that's watching now. And annoyingly, James Corden probably gets more dialogue than Awkwafina and Rihanna put together in this film, and he's in it for a much shorter space of time, arguably. Yeah, I guess that just bothered me a little bit. What can I say? I love Riri, okay? I just wanted to have some more screen time. I want to see her be in a movie that's good, and she's finally in something, a movie that I'm enjoying. Every movie that I've seen her in, I've just not enjoyed. But this I actually did enjoy. Just like, oh, give my girl Riri some more dialogue. Oh, Nana, what's her name? And also, one other element that really shines in this film is certainly the costumes. It's something that very much stands out when you watch this. Yeah, even like during the pre-planning stages of the heist, like even when they're all just sitting around, you know, lounging in this like quarters trying to decide how they're gonna rob these jewels, they're all dressed like to the nines, all looking very glamorous and very pristine. I'm just like, oh god, they look amazing. Also, the editing and the music in this was quite slick. It's got that Soderbergh Ocean's 11 style feel, you know, it's got, you know, multiple screens happening at the same time, so you've got something going on up here, something going on up here, something going up here, and it's got that slight jazzy espionage music. It gives it that very cool, stylistic feel, you know, but that just goes to highlight just how unoriginal this film is, that it needs to sort of copy everything that made the other Oceans so good. So yeah, this film really doesn't have much of its own individual identity, if you will. Alright, so let's talk about the negatives. One thing that is definitely lacking in this film is a sense of stakes, okay? Everything in this film seems to go pretty much off without a hitch for these ladies, okay? From the moment they start planning it to the execution, it all goes pretty much according to plan, okay? There's no hiccups, there's no obstacles really for them to overcome. It all just feels very polished, very slick, almost too easy. And I guess what made the original Ocean so good is that, you know, things happened to change, and, you know, there were things that presented themselves, or there was things that didn't go quite according to plan, and that just gave it a little bit more excitement. Whereas this, there really isn't too much that throws a spanner in the works for the plan. It all goes pretty seamlessly, and because of that, it feels like this film has a lack of tension. So yeah, just the stakes don't feel real. It's just all way too easy. And after the heist is over and the film moves into its third act, you know, with James Corden's PI like investigating the missing jewels, it kind of feels very strange what bits of information he chooses to like deem are valid in this investigation of missing jewels. Like, he actually gets photographic evidence of a recently released Debbie Ocean, who is a convicted criminal who's at the Met Gala in a blonde wig, clearly a disguise, and yet she's not treated as a suspect, okay? It just seems very weird to dismiss that, just like, oh, well, apparently she has a perfect airtight alibi, but the fact that this recently released convict is at this exclusive Met Gala event with A-list celebrities, that doesn't seem weird at all, okay? Yes, she just happened to have an invite. That's not suspicious at all. And then there's the people that work for Cartier, and they put real emphasis on the fact that this necklace that they're gonna steal has been living in a vault for like the last 10 years, hasn't really been seen in the public, you know, because it's so damn valuable. And yeah, they finally get coerced into letting it be, you know, used for this Met Gala thing. They allow it after some persuasion from Helena Bonham Carter's character, but it doesn't seem at all like suspicious at all to this Cartier guy that the first people that actually convinced them to let them use this necklace for 10 years or so, they don't seem to think that the behavior of Helena Bonham Carter's character was suspicious at all, like why they wanted to use this necklace, and, you know, that the fact that it's been the first time it's let out into the public, it ends up getting copied and stolen, and it's like, yeah, they didn't think it was strange that Helena Bonham I can't even say her name. They didn't think it was strange that Helena Bonham Carter's character was acting all weird and daft and aloof whilst, you know, they were looking at the necklace. There's some clear red flag signs, you know, flashing there, and yeah, it's strange that a character like that wouldn't get, you know, questioned by the investigators. It just feels like the writers took some liberties with the third act and just decided to give us a very neat and tidy conclusion to the story. We watch these lovable characters get away with it scot-free, absolutely no consequences, and yeah, it just feels a bit too easy for me. I don't know, I just feel like there should have been more repercussions to what they've done. Like, it's baffling to me that none of these ladies like really got interrogated or really got treated as suspects, even though there was some clearly obvious signs that, you know, these people were involved. I don't know, it just felt like it was a little bit of a cheap solution, you know. It wasn't really as rewarding because I didn't really feel like they did much to earn this, you know, massive payout, okay? They didn't really graft for it. All just seemed way too easy. Also, there is a lot of cameos in this film, you know, a lot of celebrities, a lot of models and stuff. But I didn't think it was too gratuitous with all the cameos. Like, you do see a lot of famous faces in this, but I don't know, I didn't think it was too much to the point where it was overdone, which was nice. Like, they didn't give too much screen time to any of the famous individuals that making cameos. I'd say the biggest one was probably Heidi Klum, and even then, she was only on the screen for like less than 30 seconds. So let's ask those 3 questions. Would I watch this again? Yeah, I think someday I will probably give this another watch. It's not particularly revolutionary, but, you know, for what it is, I was entertained, I laughed, I did have a good time watching it. Would I recommend that you guys go watch this? Sure, I'd say this is a great movie for like a date night, or if you're just out with some friends and want something lighthearted and easy viewing. You know, it's just a fun heist film, you know, with a nice bit of comedy in it. So yeah, I'd say give this one a watch. And what score am I going to give it out of 10? Entertaining? Yeah. Original? No. Rewatchable? Yeah, I'm gonna give Ocean's 8 a score of 7 out of 10. And my quick question for you guys today is the one that I asked at the start of the video. Who do you think is the biggest star of Ocean's 8? And do you guys want to see a sequel to this Ocean's 8? I guess it would be Ocean's 9, and then they'd probably go to 10 and make that the trilogy. Then we'd have an Ocean's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do you guys want to see that? Oh, is that the reason they did 8? Because they're planning a trilogy. Oh, I see what you did there, Hollywood. Did anyone else just see the little light bulb just go off above my head there when I figured that out? I am proud. Yeah, do you guys want to see an Ocean's 8 trilogy? So a 9 and a 10, do you think there will be? Whatever you think, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. And as always, if you guys like the content, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Hearfield, and I'll see you next time.